människor i Göteborg se och höra honom. Men redan nu här ikväll i TV1 så kan vi möta honom. Myten, musikern, människan Bruce Springsteen.
I guess the way I see it is the way it is in the songs. I try to make the songs real visual. My songs are basically about people. I think I know more about what makes a good song. Mainly, I make the records so that I can do the show, you know. I miss performing with the band. I never felt the necessity to have a record out every year. I'll write a lot of songs before I'll release a record. And I like to tour, and I always have. When I was a kid, I used to cry to get in the car. I guess basically I feel where there's truth, there's always hope. And in the end, I was gonna look back and it was all gonna be really funny, you know? When I was a kid, I found something I liked to do. Mine's a noisy satisfaction. I had a wild family. I remember when I seen the Beatles, like, my father hated it. It was great. It's the art of self-creation. That's the rock and roll message, you know, if there is one. Tear down the walls a little bit. My education was those records. I think you can change people's lives with it. I always, you know, it happened to me.
1, 2, 3, ho!
I grew up in a little town where I wasn't interested in what they were teaching in school, you know. None of my friends, they were all in the same boat as I was, you know. And so were my folks, you know. There was nothing coming down, you know, nothing getting in there. It wasn't a house where there was books or there was like there was no real kind of cultural thing happening. Like for me, my mother and father for the first, you know, I mean, until I was 25 or something, they were like furniture. They came with the house, you know. They were like the couch, and I never thought of my mother as, well, she's a woman, or she's a girl, she's got her own dreams, her own desires, and my dad, well, he's just this guy that's a little older than me, you know. I remember when I seen the Beatles, like, my father hated it. It was great, you know. He was like, boy, we used to fight. He used to want to watch, I think Bonanza or something was on the same time as Ed Sullivan on Sunday night. He used to battle over that TV, you know, life or death, life or death. And it was frightening. I think it was something that, you know, it just said, you know, there's more than this, you know, there's more than this. I think one of the things about rock and roll is it's the art of self-creation, you know. And a lot of times you want to erase too much of your past, you know? Too much of, you know, like usually that moment of explosion when, bang, you run into whatever it was that made you pick up the guitar, you know, in the moment you hold that thing and you look in the mirror, you know, it's, you gotta be wanting to get away from something pretty hard, you know, I think for that to happen.
The times are tough now, they're just getting tougher, yeah, this whole world is rough, it's just getting rougher, cover me. Come on, darling, cover me. Yeah, I'm looking for a lover who'll come on in and cover me.
When I was young, you know, I wanted to play, I wanted to perform, I wanted to travel, and I wanted to feel as free as I could. I guess I can, you know, I consider myself certainly lucky that when I was a kid, I found something I liked to do. You know, something that gave me some sense of personal satisfaction. And, I mean, I see so many people, I have so many friends of mine who they still don't know, you know, they don't know exactly what they want to do, you know. but it's kind of only a piece of it, you know. It's uh, I mean, sometimes I'll be laying in bed and I'll be thinking that it's amazing. I can't believe it. You know, when I was 14 or 15, I thought about doing this, and somehow I did it. You know, somehow I got there. You know, and all the things that had to go right, and just a certain amount of luck. We worked real hard. You know, since we started, but you never. I don't know. I guess that's a part of it that I feel a certain satisfaction about. But there's a lot of other people in the boat. You know, you're never in the boat by yourself. You know, what I do is fun and it's brought me a lot of satisfaction. But there's just a lot of other people that just go about their lives in different ways and they don't get interviewed or they don't get a big fuss made over them. But I don't think that what I do is it's just noisier, you know. I never felt the necessity to have a record out every year or every 6 months or, I didn't think that was what it was about exactly, you know. I guess the bad thing about it is that you feel like you're like a friend that goes away and doesn't write, you know, doesn't write back. And I can remember when I was like 15 or 16, like, kind of waited for that next release of the Rolling Stones or but mainly I guess I just felt that so many records come out and then unless I have something that I feel is worth saying, that it's not, it's generally, I don't want to have not just to have something on the shelves or to just have something in the store. That's not why I kind of started to do it in the first place. I'll write a lot of songs before I'll release a record, you know. But it's something that I actually want to, it's one of the main things I want to change about the way that we've kind of operated. I'd like to get more records out, and I'd like to get more different kind of records out, you know. I try to make the songs real visual, like movies, or real cinematic, you know. The Nebraska songs were like that. Some of my best songs were like that.
Well, they blew up the chicken man in Philly last night. Now they blew up his house too. Down on the boardwalk, they're getting ready for a fight. Gonna see what them racket boys can do. Now there's trouble busting in from out of state, and the DA can't get no relief.
Some people thought that Nebraska, either hopeless or just about despair. I guess my feeling about it was that when I wrote it, I felt that it was true. I felt it was the only record I think I ever did where after it was done, I really didn't care what people thought about it or said about it or anything, you know. And I just felt that it was right. It rang true. And I guess basically I feel, well, where there's truth, there's always hope, you know. So that's kind of my outlook these days, I guess.
Everything dies, maybe that's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, put your hair up pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City.
A lot of times I feel just lucky. You're just kind of lucky that, you think of something to write about. Really, like the Nebraska stuff which was stuff that had a lot of detail to it. But it's tricky because the detail alone doesn't just work. It's something you have to have something. You have to have a real emotional kind of structure to hang it on. but I don't. That record is kind of a mystery. It just kind of. I wrote it in about 2 months, and it just kind of came out of the blue. Yeah, you know, most if it's a good record, it should be. You know, if you knew how you did it, it's probably not that good. You know, it's like most of the best stuff you do, you don't really remember exactly how you did it, or it just kind of, you know, pops in your mind, comes out of your.
You think you've gotten better at developing characters? If you just look at yourself as a writer as opposed to a song
I think
writer.
your craft gets better, and you know, I mean, I gotten better at doing that. You know, I know more about it. You know, I think I know more about what makes a good song, so I know if I'm writing one or if I'm not. You know.
You see, because in the beginning, there was a place called the Garden of Eden. There was a man, there was a woman, there was an apple, there was temptation, there was sin. And parked curbside, there was a pink cow.
You know, I guess the cars came in because they're always about people in transition. You know, people going from someplace, going to someplace that they haven't really, they've left and they haven't arrived anywhere. And, you know, I guess that's, it was funny because I just remembered the other day that when I was a kid, I used to cry to get in the car. I don't know why. I think it started back then, you know. My mother always tells me how. I think I heard somewhere that if it was thunder and lightning, the safest place was in an automobile. You know?
Rubber wheels.
And, right, because if the car gets struck, you know, it goes to the wheels and you're safe or something. I don't know.
Now, baby, you know you broke me. There ain't no secret about that. Well, come on over here and hug me. And maybe I'll spell it back. Because, honey, it ain't your mind. 'Cause sugar, I got plenty of that. I love you for your pink hair. Girl, spell the seats, riding in the back, moving down the street.
I thought I remembered reading somewhere that your dad used to throw everybody in the car and just...
Yeah, he was a terrible, you know, like a dictator about that Sunday drive, you know. It's like the only place we used to go would be get in the car. And he'd never stop, you know, and he would always like, we're gonna stop the next place now. I gotta go to the bathroom, or I got hungry. And then we'd see it coming and we'd all get like, here it comes, here it comes. And then he'd drive by like he was real. He was funny, he was funny. Finally, like at the end of the day, we'd stop at some little motel and we used to go to Bear Mountain. That's where he used to take us, you know, on the weekend. But I guess I got some of it.
You were 18, you thought, gosh, I'm getting old.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, because I thought I was almost 20. And like, oh, that was it. Not gonna be a teenager anymore. I remember when I turned 20, it was like, it's disappointing, you know? But, and I turned 30 when I was about 27, you know? It was kind of, I started early. I remember thinking, yeah, well, I'm almost 30 now, you know? But I think, I haven't really thought about it that much anymore. You know, it's kind of, I'm, you know, kind of enjoying it, I guess.
It seems like you're having fun. You make it sort of a joke about it.
You know, it's just like, it's right now, you know, I got, you know, the band's great. Everybody's feeling great. I feel like the best I ever felt on stage, you know. And, you know, there's just no, I don't think that's as big a deal as it once was, if it ever was that big a deal. It's usually just what you're doing, what you got inside you, you know, in the end, you know. I guess I kind of wanted to sing about it in the songs just because it was kind of happening, you know. And I was always kind of concerned with singing about somebody that was, well, just my age, you know. I wanted to, like, kind of stay current with myself. you know, and you know, I said, well, all right, when I'm 40, I can sing this song and laugh, you know, or something. So I started in Rosalita. You know, it's funny. I was looking back then already. I was only 24 then. You know.
Someday we'll look back on this and it will all seem funny. La la la. Now you say, all this way, all this as the old time, don't have any run. Papa tell me no, that I don't have any run. Papa tell me no, that I don't have any run. This is his last chance. We're getting started in a fine romance. The record company, Rosie, gave me a big advance.
As the years progress and you look back on your library of songs, are there songs that grow up with you or that change or mature?
Well, most of them. The funny thing is, most of the songs hang in there pretty good. You know, I guess I still feel like a part of all of them. You know, like tonight we did "Spirit in the Night." You know, I haven't done that thing in I don't know how long. You know, and that was fun. You know, I always go back and there's always some lines in it that I look back, and especially on my first record where I was kind of writing anything that came into my mind. That was my style, you know. I would write on the bus and I would write on the subway and I would just look out the window and it was a real kind of stream of consciousness. And the main thing was it all had to rhyme, you know, like blinded by the light, you know, is like trying to think of a bunch of different words that rhymed, you know. and I always find like lines in those songs that I still feel, yeah, I still feel like that. That one breathes a lot. That opens up and lets like the past 10 years in a real good way. That's still one of the most emotional songs for me when we play it at night. You know, it's like it's still just that big roar. Like to me, like when we sing "Born to Run" now, I hear Nebraska in it, and I hear "Born in the USA" in it, and all that stuff was in those songs. You know, it just wasn't. You know, at a different time, you focus on a different, you know, a different aspect of what you do, I guess. But that one, plus that's one that seems to mean the most to the people, you know, and that makes those songs more powerful, you know. It's like people take them and they make them their own. The only thing that really feels like I'm doing what I should be doing is usually like when I play with the band. It's great. I miss just being with those guys like that on stage, because when we're off, we don't see each other a whole lot. We see each other a little bit. That's where our main the main basis of all our communication, of our friendship is around playing in the band together.
He's no longer with the band. What happened there?
You know, he had all these songs that were great songs. I thought his record was, the record that he made, The Voice of America, was one of the best records I ever heard. Yeah. And he just was at that place where it was like, it was time, you know, I think, for him to do, you know, just have his own band, you know. And you know, we've been friends since we were real young, 15, 16, you know. And I met him at the Whole Blue Club in Middletown. And we just kind of hit it off. We used to go to New York and used to go up to this Cafe Wa in Greenwich Village on the weekends. And you know, they had those matinee shows. We just did all that stuff together, you know. Then we'd come home and you know, try to get the sounds the guys would get on our guitars. We'd both go down in the basement and you know, turn, you know, how did he do that? He'd turn the amp up as loud as we could. He was always a lot of laughs, you know. We'd always get together and go to the movies and, you know, we just got along real good. And, you know, but I'm glad he's doing what he's doing, because I think he's got something real important to say. I think he's saying it you know, just real tremendously.
We are unified, still crucified, just because we never crossed the tracks. Yeah.
I've known Nils for actually quite a while. I met him about 10 years ago. You know, when we knew that Steven wasn't going to be doing the tour, he was just kind of somebody like was one of the first people I thought about, you know. And we didn't audition anybody or anything, you know. He just kind of came up and, you know, he stayed at my house and we just talked. And his feeling about music and rock and roll is like, I think, our feeling, the rest of the bands, you know. He was a guy that I knew I was going to get the commitment out of. And he don't look at it like a job or you know, it's a dedication for him. And he just came up and he just kind of stood over there and it felt good, you know. You know, but then we got Patty, you know, and that was, she joined the band only a couple days before we left to go on the road. And I met Patty in Stone Pony in Asbury Park. And she just came out to where we were rehearsing and she sang with the band, and it was a big relief because, wow, somebody's gonna hit that note every night and it's gonna be in key, you know? And it's nice, you know, it's been really nice. It's great. I like having her there too, you know? It's nice having the woman there, and it changes the, you know, changes the feeling a little bit, and it's been a real good thing. What I want to get to where I can actually, her and Nils, use them more than even, we're just kind of starting, you know. It's like, first night it really felt like a different band. It felt really different, you know. It was funny, you know. And but it feels really, right now, feels real, just real natural, you know.
Oh, let's go!
Mainly, I make the records so that I can do the show, you know. It's the thing I always meant the most to me ever since the first time I got up at the Elks Club and sang Twist and Shout, you know.
Shut it up, baby! Come on, let's twist and shout now. Twist and shout. Come on, baby. Come on, let's work it on out now. Work it on out. Twist it, little girl. You know you twist so fine now. Come on and twist a little closer. Let me know you're mine now.
You know, my education was those records, man. That night, that was it. That was, taught me the most important thing, you know. That just there's, you know, there's more to life than what you see around you, you know. And that was something that they couldn't teach me in school. You know, I couldn't learn it in the house. You couldn't learn it from people you were hanging with out on the street or anything. You know, just it was the most important lesson of my life, you know. And I guess at night, you know, that's the only thing we try to say, you know, or try to do. It's really it's the only message, real, is you know, don't sell yourself short.
Down the shadow of the penitentiary, out by the gas fires of the refinery. 10 years burning down the road, nowhere to run, nowhere to go. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA. I was born in the USA. I'm a long-gone daddy in the USA now.
One of the other things that happens in the show, towards the end, you let out a call to let freedom ring.
I guess for me, that was, you know, in the end, you know, if I had to say, well, what did Elvis Presley say to me, or what did I feel from his music? You know, that was it, you know, that was basically, I think that's the basic, I think that's the rock and roll message, you know, if there is one, you know. That's just what it's always said at its best, you know. I think that, Elvis said that, I think that's what Prince says, you know. That just seemed to be what I've always felt from it, when, you know, just to, you know, get down, tear down the walls a little bit, you know, look outside, see what's going on around you, you know, what's happening with your friends or or your family, and just making a little bit more room for everybody. Just a little bit, you know, just a little breathing room. You know, maybe you ain't gonna change the world, or you can change something. I think you can change people's lives with it. I always, you know, it happened to me, you know.